Okay, this is not like a handgun. This is like a grenade launcher. I'm like, wait. She has an altercation. She goes out into the middle of the street, right? You go out into the middle of the street like Denzel Washington in Training Day, shouting at everybody with a potato gun on your shoulder. Do you shoot somebody with a potato? Multiple people. You have a 5-pound bag of potatoes on your hip, and you are shooting potatoes into a crowd of people at a neighborhood barbecue? I am so confused right now. I am so confused right now. What's up, guys? Steve here with the Ram Real Estate Investing channel, the channel where we talk about how to make money through real estate investing. And today I want to talk to you about a deal that I recently walked away from because, well, let's just say it was a wholesale deal that involved somebody that was flip-flopping a lot, there was restraining orders involved, and a potato gun. That's right, a potato gun, which I had no idea what a potato gun was prior to this deal, but now I know, and today I will be sharing with you what a potato gun is. Now, I just want to give a quick disclaimer. Everything that I'm going to be sharing with you today is 100% real. I mean, I cannot make this stuff up. And I mean, it's just like the further and further that we go with this story, it just gets better and better. I mean, it just got so bizarre. It was like an onion. The more and more I got into this deal, like we're pulling back layers and it gets more and more interesting. How deep does this rabbit hole go? And there's so many flags that were popping up and it's like, Steve, when are you gonna stop and pull out of this deal? But I kept going with it. Why? Because I have trained my mind to make quitting the absolute last resort. Why have I done this? Because, well, I like the way that Tony Robbins says it. He says that our minds, our default setting is for us to survive. So not for us to thrive, not for us to achieve our goals and accomplish all the things that we wish we could. It's just for us to survive day to day. So we have to retrain our minds to get into success mode and to make quitting the absolute last option possible. So what have I done to do that? Well, over the past several years, I do affirmations. That's right, where you talk to yourself in the mirror.
I am successful, I am powerful, I am handsome, I am happy. Successful, powerful, handsome, happy.
I do incantations where you embody everything that's involved, like Tony Robbins.
So I do an incantation using my whole body. I'd say, I now command my subconscious mind to direct me in helping as many people as possible.
I write down my goals 2 times a day. So I write down my goals 700 times a year.
And I write mine down 700 times a year. Who wins? It won't be taller. It won't be richer. It won't be better looking. It'll be the guy that writes his goals down twice a day, every day.
I even have done hypnosis. Right now, you are going to smash the like button. I do all of these things to make sure that every single day I have a success-driven mindset. So I try to see everything through and make quitting my absolute last alternative. But with this particular deal, it just got to a point where I was like, I am in crazy land. That if real estate investing was just about houses and numbers, it would be easy and everyone would do it. But successful real estate investors solve problems. And what kind of problems do they solve? They solve other people's problems. That's right, they create win-win solutions that will help them and help other people as well. But what's the problem with that? You gotta deal with other people's problems. You gotta deal with people. And people is what makes real estate investing difficult. All right, so let's get into the deal. It was a Friday and I had a wholesaler reach out to me and he said, I have a local deal and the market value of this property is $345,000. He said there are no repairs required for this property. If there are any, it's less than $5,000. And he said, I currently have the seller willing to sell this property at $255,000 and I would like a $10,000 assignment fee. Now that piqued my interest and I said, please send me over more information. Are you okay with me contacting the seller directly and I'll make sure to write you into the contract? He said, no problem, and he sent over the information to me. So I called the seller directly, told her I got her number from the wholesaler and let her know that I was an interested investor. And immediately she had a fat attitude with me. Talked to her a little bit more, come to find out that she had just fallen out of a deal with an investor. Things went wrong. She felt like he wrote up a contract that was different than what he had promised. And so she had her walls up against all investors. So I talked to her a little bit, built some rapport, made her feel comfortable with me. I thought things were going well, and she agreed to work with me on the deal. But she said that,
I know that investors are greedy and want their money, but I have tenants in there and I want you to take care of them as well. I'm in a hurry. I need to get out of town. I don't care about the equity I'm leaving on the table. I'll work a deal out with you, but I need you to help me get my moving expenses taken care of, and I want you to take care of the tenants and get them a security deposit so that way they can move out and go to their next place.
I said, that sounds good. Let's schedule a time where we can meet up at the property. But she said,
today is Friday, and I honor the Sabbath, and I am taking off the entire weekend. We will reschedule to have a conference call on Monday.
And I asked her, I said, I'd like to see the property. Can I actually meet you at the property and meet the tenants on Monday? And she said, no, we will have a conference call. I said, okay, sounds good, that's fine. In the meantime, I'll go ahead and contact my attorney, my real estate agent, my contractors, and make sure that I get all my ducks in a row and everything set up so that way I can make this deal happen in the meantime. And then the first flag came into play. And the first flag came up when I asked her what her full name was. And when she gave it to me, well, let's just say that everybody that I have shared this with, they immediately laugh. And I wish I could share it, but I don't want to put her full name out on YouTube. But let's just say, okay, either she was lying to me, either she is crazy, or maybe she was just born with a very unfortunate name. But the name was definitely the first flag. You know what, looking back, honestly, as soon as she gave me that name, I should have just hung up the phone. So over the weekend, I reached out to an agent that was a friend of mine, and he gave me some MLS comps. We ran them, and the ARV, or the fair market value on the property, came out to $325. Now, that's still good for me. I'm like, okay, this looks good, this sounds good. Reached out to a contractor, left a message with my attorney, letting people know, getting this on their radar. Hey, I've got a property that I'm looking at. Well, Monday rolls around and I'm ready for this conference call that was scheduled later on in the morning. And early in the morning, she sends me a text message that says,
there's a fixer property on the street next to me that's selling for $345. And in addition to that, I need to see proof of funds to make sure that you, my friend, are for real.
I was like, wait, what? So I was like, okay, I'm not going to do this over text because sometimes things can get mixed up or whatever. I'm going to call her. So I immediately called her and I got on the phone with her and I said, hey, I got your text message and I wanted to let you know, number one, proof of funds. I have no problem with providing you that. However, the way things typically work is somebody submits an offer. After the offer is submitted, you accept it. Then after you accept it and everything is agreed upon, then I provide you proof of funds. You see, you and I had discussed the property being $255 plus me helping you with moving expenses and also providing a security deposit for the tenants to move on to their next place. However, we haven't had that conversation yet, so I don't know what those amounts are. I can't provide you proof of funds for an amount that I don't know what it is. Second of all, I don't know where you got this $345 fixer from. Regardless of if somebody's asking that, asking isn't getting. And I ran comps on it myself, and the value of this property, according to the comps that I ran, was $325. And she said,
well, I don't know where you got that $325 from.
And I said, the MLS. And then she says,
well, over the weekend, I spoke to my family about it, and they said that I shouldn't be in such a hurry. They said that I shouldn't leave that much equity on the table.
And I told her, you know what? I agree with you 100%. That's a lot of equity to be leaving on the table. However, you told me that you were in a hurry to move and that you wanted me to help you with your expenses. Now, if you are not in a hurry to move, that's fine. I totally agree with you. There's a lot of equity there. If you're not in a hurry, I recommend that you list it and try to get the most you can. But if you are in a hurry, I am here to help you out. So I need to know what are you trying to accomplish with this property? And then she responds to me and says,
well, Steve, I'm sorry to waste your time. I'm going to step away from this and I'm not going to do this transaction with you.
I said, okay, that's fine. And she said, if anything changes, I'll let you know. And at this point, I pretty much figured that the deal was done. So I said, okay, I wish you the best of luck. Thank you. And I figured that was the end. So I get on the phone, leave voice messages with my contractor, my attorney, and my agent, and let them all know, never mind, the deal's a no-go. So then it's the next day, it's Tuesday morning, and I get a call from my friend with the interesting name, and she tells me,
hey, Steve, yesterday I was calling all these other people trying to put things together. You know what? My family doesn't understand all of the hassle that I'm having to go through to try to make this work. I don't want to deal with it. I'll tell you what, let's pick back up where we left off, and let's make this work.
And immediately a flag goes off in my head. There's two thoughts, right? There's a good thought and there's a bad thought. The good thought is, okay, cool, I can maybe get this deal and we can get things going. And then the other thought is, okay, this person is flip-flopping back and forth really fast. And to me, that's usually a warning sign that this person that you're dealing with is not a very good decision maker. And there's a good chance that they will also flip on you again. So I respond back and I tell her, are you sure? because I already contacted all of my people and told them the deal was off. Now I have to call them again, get on the phone with them and tell them the deal is back on. I'll go ahead and do that, but I just want to make sure before I do this, before you change your mind again. She says,
No, listen, Steve, I want to reassure you that I'm going to work with you. Yesterday, I spent so much time working with people and I tried to reach out to the tenants and they wouldn't respond. I am so done. I just want to work with you. And you don't have to worry about paying the tenants a security deposit anymore. Wipe that off the table because I am so done with them.
So immediately my mind thinks, okay, so now I'm dealing with problem tenants. So I ask her, what happened with the tenants? And she says,
Well, I asked them to send me a photo of the front of the house where there was a camera and now there's not, because there was a spot there and I wanted them to paint it so that way it blended back in.
and I said, well, why don't you just drive by the house? And she said,
Well, I can't.
And I said, you can't? And she said,
Yeah, I've got an issue with the neighbors. She said, the neighbors are a problem.
And I said, the neighbors are a problem. What's going on? Are they gangsters? Are they drug dealers? Like, do they have it out for you? Like, what's the deal with the neighbors? And she says,
No, nothing like that. It's just bickering. Well, okay, you're gonna find this out anyways, but it turns out that they had a chicken coop in their backyard, so I reported them to the city. Then they found out and they saw my cameras and they reported my cameras and said that I was illegally viewing them. And we reported each other back and forth and we have a bunch of fines against each other.
So then there's the next flag that goes off in my mind. We have a person that we're dealing with that is petty and doesn't get along with others. So I tell her, look, I completely understand. However, we need to make this deal work and I need you to meet me at the property. So let's schedule a time where we can all meet together at the property right away. If I'm there with you, hopefully there won't be any issues. And she says,
Well, Steve, I guess you're gonna find this out sooner or later too.
so here comes another flag.
The neighbors have a restraining order against me.
And I'm like, wait, what? She says,
Yeah, the neighbors have a restraining order against me.
I said, which one? Which side? She says,
Both of them.
I said, wait, what? Both neighbors have a restraining order against you? She says,
Yeah, look, I don't want to talk about it. It's sort of a long ordeal.
I'm like, what happened? Just be transparent with me. And she says,
Okay, so I don't want to go into all the details of it. Long story short, there was a neighborhood barbecue cookout and there was an altercation in the streets and a potato gun was involved, and now both of my neighbors have restraining orders against me.
okay, so I'm like, what is a potato gun? Like, my mind's thinking like a BB gun. So I look it up and I find this.
Yeah.
Okay, this is not like a handgun. This is like a grenade launcher. I'm like, wait, I'm trying to imagine this right now in my mind, okay? So she has an altercation. She goes out into the middle of the street, right? With multiple people. She has multiple restraining orders against her. You go out into the middle of the street like Denzel Washington in Training Day, shouting at everybody with a potato gun on your shoulder. Did you shoot somebody with a potato? Multiple people. Did you have a 5-pound bag of potatoes on your hip and you are shooting potatoes into a crowd of people at a neighborhood barbecue? I need to know. Like, I am so confused right now. I am so confused right now. But what does Steve do? I can still make this work. So the woman with the odd name that flip-flops, that is petty, doesn't get along well with others, shoots other people with potatoes and has restraining orders against her. I say, let's do the deal. So we decide to move forward. We reschedule another time where myself and the contractor can meet with the tenants. And I call up my attorney to let him know it's back on. We're going to get ready to put together a contract. And he just starts laughing. And he says,
Steve, you do know that everything that you're saying sounds crazy, right? Look, there is a very good chance that this woman is lying to you. But even worse, there is a chance that she could be telling you the truth. Are you sure that you want to go forward with this deal?
and what do I say with all my affirmations, my incantations, my writing, my hypnosis?
Hit the subscribe button.
I say, we're doing this deal. So later that same evening, she sends me a text message saying, I got in contact with the tenants and they said it's okay for you to go tomorrow morning. So I'm like, okay, sounds good, all is well, planning to go over there. So the next morning comes and I'm getting ready to head over there, and she sends me a text message, and the text message says,
just to let you know, I've got another offer on the table, so you better hurry up with your offer, make it quick, and show me proof of funds.
you mean to tell me that within the past 12 hours, you already received another offer? Mind you, from somebody that has not even seen the property yet. So I'm telling myself, like, okay, calm down. Maybe there was a misunderstanding. And in my mind, I'm trying to think of all the ways that we can make this work. But it's hard because I can suddenly feel my heart pumping a lot harder, and I can feel myself starting to sweat because I'm getting a little frustrated with this woman. And I know she's playing games. I mean, maybe it's possible that within that short amount of time, she got another offer on the property from somebody that has not even seen it, right? But I think there's something inside of me telling me that she's playing games with me. And at this point, I've already seen so many flags. I'm like, how far do I want to go with this? Really? I've seen so many flags at this point. So I'm just like, okay, you know what? I think I'm done. So I call up my attorney. He picks up the phone and I tell him immediately, like, stop the paperwork. I don't think this deal is going to work. And he just says, and he just responds to me and says,
You know what, Steve? I think that's a good decision. I think that you are saving yourself and me a lot of court time by backing out of the deal. Look, if you can find other deals in other places and you've had a lot of success in real estate, sometimes it's maybe a good idea just to walk away.
So I give her a call and she answers the phone and says,
Hello, Steve.
and I tell her, hey, I got your text message and I saw that you have another offer on the table. And immediately she responds back and says,
Yes, however, that's just a backup offer. I want to let you know that I really want to work with you. And who knows, they haven't even seen the property yet. There's probably a good chance that they won't like it, they won't do the deal. So don't worry about that at all.
So I'm like, okay, that response pretty much confirms to me that she's lying and she's playing games. And I'm just like, okay, I've had enough of this. I'm done. Like, I don't want to deal with this anymore because I'm trying to do all these things to accommodate her, to make it work, to do a win-win situation. And I'm being very open with her. And when somebody is just playing games and goofing around, it's not worth it. I can find other deals elsewhere. So I just tell her right away, I told her, you know what? Well, I don't appreciate you throwing another offer in my face like that and putting the pressure on me. I'm trying to work with you and the schedule and the fact that you can't show up at the property. So I don't appreciate games, so I'm done. I'm gonna look elsewhere. I'm gonna step away from this deal. And if you have another offer on the table, I recommend that you take it. And then she says,
Okay, that's fine.
and she says, well, I wish you the best of luck. And I say, same to you. Immediately after that, she shoots me a text message and says,
I apologize if I offended you. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say anything that insinuated that I was playing games or anything like that. I really still would like to work with you. But I demand that I have proof of funds and I know that you are for real.
and I was just like, nah, I'm good. I must admit though, that part of me is like, what if I would have kept on going with this? Like, how far does this story go? Like, what else would I would have found out about this woman with this strange name? Like, I gotta admit, I'm kind of curious. Like, what? And where do you get a potato launcher? Like, well, I wanted to share this story with you guys, and I hope you learned a lot of lessons from it. What lessons could you have learned from this? Well, to be honest, I don't really know. But hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully it was entertaining. Hey, on the bright side, I got a YouTube video out of it. Do me a favor, if you like this video, hit the like button. If you'd like to see more videos about real estate investing, hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell so that way anytime I upload, you'll be notified. Just to give you a heads up, my plan is to upload videos every Friday. I hope you guys enjoyed this. This is Steve Ram. God bless.